Coming up on BG24 News, taxes are due tomorrow. We have an inside look on how the post office handles the busy day.
Plus, the Jerome Library at BGSU is nationally recognized.
And more problems for another car dealership in Bowling Green. We'll explain.
We'll also take a look at your full Black Swamp weather forecast. Welcome to your Campus and Community Connection.
Live local news starts right now. This is BG24 News, live at 5:30.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alana Nessel.
And I'm Brooke Ebersole. Thanks for joining us tonight. Breaking news today from Campus Sports, police arrested a member of the Bowling Green State University football team this afternoon. Sports reporter Toby Fleming joins us with more information. Toby?
Thanks, Brooke. Police arrested sophomore cornerback Nick Johnson on misdemeanor assault charges. He will have a preliminary hearing tomorrow. Last week, Johnson allegedly struck a woman whom he was dating and then choked her. The university announced that Johnson is indefinitely suspended from the team. Last season, Johnson led the Mid-American Conference with 5 interceptions, and he also tied the school record for most by a freshman. And now back to Alana.
Thanks, Toby. The undergraduate student government at BGSU has new leadership. Victor Sen was elected president and Danielle Parker vice president. This is the first contested election in 3 years.
A national website gives BGSU's library a high ranking. CollegeRank.net ranked the Jerome Library the 11th best in the nation. The website selected the top 50 libraries. The rankings are based on book collections, history, and on-campus experiences.
BGSU is host to several workshops about Lake Erie. Experts came to campus to discuss the Lake Erie algae problem and its impacts yesterday and today. The workshops are co-sponsored by the National Science Foundation and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association. One of the workshops is at Olds Camp Hall and is open to the public.
Taxes are due tomorrow and many residents are waiting until the last minute. This can create a stressful day for the postal workers. Bowling Green Postmaster Rob Gurley says the post office is ready for the challenge.
Deadline for tax day is April 15th. You need to get your mail into the system by close of business, which would be 5 o'clock. There is going to be no extended hours in Bowling Green, or I believe anywhere in Ohio. 5 o'clock will be the deadline. Also, if you're going to put them in a blue collection box, please look at the time on the blue collection box. We will pull the box on time. We don't ever pull it early, but sometimes a little late. But you want to make sure you get your mail into that box by the time that it says on the blue box. You can send it overnight or priority 2-3 day. The IRS, I have been told they are accepting overnights and priority if you want to send it that way. Or you can just do regular first class. It may be just a day slower, but it'll get there.
Taylor Urban joins us now for your first look at your Black Swamp weather forecast. Taylor?
Thanks. Bowling Green is currently experiencing a cool Tuesday afternoon with temperatures of 62 degrees, light winds going northeast at 8 miles per hour, a clear day with 0% chance of precipitation, mostly clouds and sun, and 30% humidity. A pretty cool day, and I will have more for our extended forecast later on this afternoon.
Thanks, Taylor. Bowling Green police take a Pennsylvania girl into custody. The 16-year-old ran away from home to meet a male BG resident whom she had met online. Police charged the girl with being an unruly juvenile. The male was not charged, but the investigation continues.
Another local car dealership and another robbery. Bowling Green Lincoln Auto Sales on Main Street was the victim. The thieves stole 4 rims and tires valued around $5,000. This is the 3rd robbery of this kind in less than a month. The first 2 happened at Al Smith Chrysler Jeep and Ram.
A Bowling Green road closes for a couple of weeks. The eastbound lane of Poe Road between Lafayette and Haskins Road closed today. The reason? Construction. The closure will last about 2 weeks.
Coming up when we return, an art show was held on campus yesterday, but it was intended for a select audience.
Plus, Bowling Green school officials announce a new superintendent. Stay with us.
BGSU queer community had the chance to represent themselves through art. The 2nd annual Queer Art Show, Breaking the Mold, celebrating queer art and artists, took place in the Student Union last night. The art show celebrated queer artists and their views, which are often silenced. The art represented themes of sexism, marginalized group arts, and homophobia. If the art did not resemble those themes, the artist identified with the queer community. Many musical artists and spoken word performers at the show. The host of Breaking the Mold, celebrating queer art and artists, Gabrielle Winger, was happy with the outcome.
I felt really good about it. Last year we only had 2 spoken word performances. This year we had 9 performances along with more art than we did last year. I thought the turnout was really good. I was really happy with all of it. It turned out well.
Breaking the Mold, celebrating queer art and artists, was only the beginning of BGSU's Rainbow Week to spread LGBT awareness within the community.
Bowling Green Schools officially appointed a new superintendent today. Francis Scrucci takes over the job. Scrucci replaces Dr. Ann McVeigh, who is retiring. Dr. McVeigh served as superintendent for over 30 years. Superintendent Scrucci currently serves at a high school outside of Columbus.
Bowling Green is set to host a small business seminar. State officials will meet Thursday to discuss the growth of small businesses. The seminar is sponsored by the Bowling Green Chambers of Commerce.
One person was injured after a semi-crash near Bowling Green last week. The incident occurred on US 6 near the I-75 exit. 2 semi-trucks collided after one failed to yield at a stop sign. Paramedics took the driver of the other semi to Wood County Hospital for minor injuries.
A lecture on Native Americans comes to Perrysburg this week. The other Trail of Tears, the removal of Ohio Indians, takes place at Fort Meigs on Thursday. Author Mary Stockwell will talk about her book and the treatment of Native Americans in Ohio.
A judge sentenced a Perrysburg man to prison yesterday. Scott Barker was found guilty of sexual battery. The incident involved a young girl. It happened in January of last year. Barker was sentenced to a maximum of 8 years in prison.
Still to come, the town of Rossford names its new city administration.
Plus, we'll have your full Black Swamp weather forecast when we return. Stay with us.
Live local forecast with BG24 Black Swamp Weather.
Hi, I'm Taylor, and this is your Black Swamp weather forecast. Today we're experiencing 62 degrees, a cool day, some sun, partly cloudy. Light winds going northeast at 8 miles per hour, a clear day with 0% chance of precipitation. Tonight, temperatures fall to 48 degrees, winds slow down to 3 miles per hour. Still no chance of precipitation, no snow or rain in sight. Tomorrow, we'll experience temperatures in the 60s with a low of 58 degrees. Winds are going northeast at 17 miles per hour. Still no precipitation with 25% humidity. Tomorrow night's forecast will be 46 degrees with a low of 41 degrees. A nice night to watch the stars. It'll be totally clear. Once again, 0% chance of precipitation, no rain or snow in sight. Northwest Ohio is experiencing temperatures in the low 60s and the mid 60s. Toledo with 58 degrees, and the regional temperature we have a clear rest of the day, no rain or snow in sight, nationally we're experiencing some regions having more precipitation than other. Later on in the week we might experience that same precipitation. Our extended forecast shows us tomorrow being a clear day. Thursday, we might experience some rain. Friday will be foggy, so be careful if you're traveling home. Saturday, we'll experience some rain once again, but with clouds and sun, and Sunday, more clouds. The rest of the week, the high will be 71, and the low will be 63 degrees.
I'll tell you, I was happy to see when I woke up this morning, or yesterday morning I suppose it was, when it was so warm outside, and then about 2 o'clock the heavens opened up and poured down and we dropped about 10 degrees. But you know what, as long as we are out of 30s and 40s, I will be happy.
Right. I don't think anyone was expecting that, but you can't expect anything when you live in Ohio.
Especially not this town.
Exactly. But we're getting there. We're slowly getting to spring. We're in the mid-60s and it's becoming nice.
Yeah.
The city of Rossford has named its new city administrator. Mike Scott was confirmed city council last night. He will take over the job this summer. Scott previously served as a city council member. He is also the founder of the city's Convention and Visitors Bureau.
A woman was charged yesterday after her child fell into a cheetah exhibit at the Cleveland Zoo. The woman was holding her son over the railing when he fell down. The parents then jumped into the exhibit and pulled him out safely. The woman was charged with child endangerment.
Were the Wright brothers the first to fly? That is the topic of controversy between Ohio and Connecticut. Ohio House panel has scheduled a vote to reject Connecticut's claim that Gustav Whitehead was the first to successfully fly an aircraft. The vote is scheduled for next week.
Toby Fleming joins us now for a look at campus and community sports. Toby?
Thanks, Brooke. Coming up on BG24 Sports tonight, Matt Johnson was named the starting quarterback for the Falcons. We'll hear from him. And baseball took on Eastern Michigan at Stellar Field today. I have the final score from the Diamond. All this and more is coming up next.
It's un-Falcon believable coverage that you won't get anywhere else. This is BG24 Sports.
Good evening and welcome to BG24 Sports. I'm Toby Fleming. The BG baseball team beat Eastern Michigan 4-2 at Stellar Field today. After tonight's game, the Falcons now have a 12-19 overall record, while their Eagles dropped to 13-23. However, both teams had 5-7 conference records, tying them for 7th place in the Mid-American Conference. In tonight's game, the Falcons took an early 1-0 lead over the Eagles in the bottom of the second. It wasn't until the 8th inning that Eastern Michigan scored and the Eagles took a 2-1 lead. But BG fought back and scored 3 more runs in the bottom of the 8th, making it 4-2 for the Falcons. Next up for the Falcons is a 3-game series with Western Michigan this weekend. The final round of the Greenbrier Invitational ended early for men's golf today due to a rain cancellation. Only 4 holes of the play were completed. So the scores from yesterday's 2 rounds of play are the finals. The Falcons ended in 9th place while senior Joe Cooper tied for 12th individually. The team will be back on the road this weekend at the Rutherford Intercollegiate. The BG football team held its annual spring game last Saturday at Doyd Perry Stadium. The first team offense took home a 36-34 victory over the second team. Quarterback Matt Johnson made his first appearance on the field after sitting out most of last season with a hip injury. Johnson threw for 182 yards and 4 passing touchdowns. Last week, Johnson was named starting quarterback for the Falcons in the upcoming season.
I said this before, me and James both had the mindset that, we were going to be the starter. So, when you hear that you're the starter, you feel overjoyed, but also at the same time, it's what I expected. It's what I wanted to hear.
It was amazing to watch Matt work with the 2s and the 3s and how much production and productivity he had with guys that weren't as good as the 1s. And when you started looking at the productivity of Matt with the 2s and 3s compared to the other guys, it was pretty clear who was making the rest of the guys play better.
The BG softball team hit the road today to take on the University of Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana. The Falcons are batting .264 overall, while Notre Dame has a batting average of .336. BG will have the difficult task of stopping a strong Irish offense in their home territory. The Irish are currently 32-11 overall and are on a 19 home game winning streak. BG currently sits at 13-19 and is looking to bounce back after losing the last 2 games at home to the Ball State Cardinals. Head coach Shannon Salzberg says despite the rocky season, she sees strong potential for the team.
We believe we can win a MAC championship. Whether, at this point we're not sure if that's going to be in season or at the conference tournament. Either way, though, I think that this team, if we put it together and continue to grow the next 4 or 5 weeks, we've got a real shot.
And now, as usual, the Pizza Hut Athletes of the Week. Baseball player Zach Carey was named the male Pizza Hut Athlete of the Week. The freshman pitched a career-high 8 innings last Sunday, leading the Falcons to 11-1 victory on the road at Ohio. It was Carey's second win of the season, and BG has won all 3 games in which he started. He has an ERA of just under 5, placing him in the top 3 among Falcon pitchers. Track and field athlete Brittany Sinclair is the female Pizza Hut Athlete of the Week. The redshirt senior ran a career-best 59.77 in the 400 hurdles. It's the second fastest time in school history. Sinclair was also on the 400 relay team, which finished 4th in just over 46 seconds. That time is the 3rd best in the MAC this year. And that's all I have for BG24 Sports tonight. Follow us at BG24 Sports Now on Twitter for breaking news and scores. And follow us on Instagram at BG24 Sports. I'm Toby Fleming and we'll be right back.
This week is National Library Week, and the Jerome Library at BGSU is taking part in the festivities. Yesterday, the library kicked things off with an elevator dance party where students were in for a surprise as they went up to study. Beth Hogue, who organized the event, says she wanted to change the way students viewed the library.
Seeing that the library of today has a lot of things to offer students, that it's maybe more than what you expect.
Several events and contests will be held throughout the week. For more information, check out BGSU Library's Facebook and Twitter to stay updated.
A drag show will take place on campus tomorrow night. Delta Lambda Phi Beta Omicron is hosting its 7th annual drag show. #Polish starts at 7 p.m. in the Union Ballroom. Tickets are $5 for Greek members and $7 for non-Greeks.
And we're back with Taylor Irvin for our last look at the rest of this week. What's the weather going to be looking like?
The rest of the week we experienced some pretty consistent temperatures. Wednesday and Thursday will give us 63 and 65 degrees. Friday we'll see a warm up, but that warm up will come with fog. So be careful if you are traveling home on Friday. Saturday we might see some rain, but it will be 67 degrees. And Sunday it'll be cloudy with a low of 63 degrees.
Well, at least everybody will probably be inside for Dance Marathon this weekend, so the weather won't really affect them there.
Right.
Except for the bikers, of course.
Oh, the bikers. I didn't even
That's
think about
true.
that. And then sporting events coming up this weekend. Is weather going to be a factor there? Or
Of course, always for baseball, you know.
yeah, ugh, I would not like that. To
Hopefully
play
they play
baseball in
hard.
the mud and in the dirt and it's raining. Blech.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I'll give the bikers a lot of credit too.
No kidding, no kidding. I would not like to bike in the rain at all. Like that, it would just be. It's maybe like thinking about driving down the highway, like in a convertible while it's raining.
Yeah, it makes it all that much more worth it though.
Yeah, it's a great.
It'll be a great
the
turnout.
great thing. It's a great cause.
And that's all for BG24's News Tonight.
Check out these stories and more content on youtube.com/BG24news.
And check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and now Instagram.
From everyone here at BG24, I'm Brooke Ebersole with Alana Nussel, Toby Fleming, and Taylor Irvin. Have a good night, everyone.